All right. So, for my second pick, my second movie scene, I think this is pretty well known movie, but this is Cujo from 1983.
Ooh, one of my faves, dude.
Cujo.
I can't get my damn own seatbelt off.
All right. You pull while I push. Oh, I can't get it. Pull.
So 1983, still very young. Probably 7 years old, 8 years old. Wait, how old? Yeah, 7 years old when I was watching this. I surprisingly not considered one of the greater Stephen King adaptations, but I think it's a freaking great movie. I recently watched it.
It's so hard for him because he's so out there and his books are so good.
Mm-hmm.
You still can't do some of that shit on a movie. It's still too hard to do some of that stuff. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
So you got to think back then, it's almost damn near impossible.
Yeah, and this one, this is really kind of straightforward. It's just about a big freaking canine that goes crazy, and that's the plot. But I think it's so well done, and it has a lot of kind of deeper meaning into it. I recently watched it, and I was surprised at how well it still holds up. And Dee Wallace,
Great Scream Queen, dude.
Great Dee Wallace, and this
Howling.
is E.T. This is probably right after E.T., and she again plays a mother, and she is stuck. You know, the scene I'm thinking of is that she is stuck in her car, her shitty Ford Pinto car, and she's stuck with her little boy while this monstrous Saint Bernard dog, which is infected by a severe case of rabies, is trying to break into the car. And when I was thinking about it, I go, okay, which scene is this? Well, the whole final third act is just basically them stuck in a car. So I guess the scene I was really freaked out by was probably the first scene where the mother realized that there's a monstrous dog out there who wants to kill her and her child. And the scene is where the dog kind of jumps. It's like a really great, effective jump scare scene where the dog just jumps into the open car window and tries to, attack. And then she's trying, at the same time, she's trying to unlock the safety belt for her little boy.
Button's stuck again. Gives me everything in this car's broken.
Alice, Daddy, get a new car.
Sounds good to me. Damn this car. You pull while I push. Oh, I can't get it. Pull.
And who's her little boy?
The kid from Who's the Boss? One of the best performances of a little boy I ever seen. I mean, this is up there with Haley Joel Osment in The Sixth Sense. I think it's a tremendous performance by this kid.
They do a great job of stress in that movie because they got the dog. It's like 1,000 degrees.
Yeah.
The boy's got asthma. You know what I mean? He's sweating his ass off. So's the mom.
They had to take off their clothes just because of the heat. It's a wonderful third act. I mean, one of the best third acts of a horror movie, especially for a Stephen King film.
And especially since, dude, it's 2 people and a dog.
Yeah, simple.
It's not. Yeah, it's a very, very small, easy, straight line, and he does such a good job.
You know, back then, I think you forget how vulnerable we were driving cars, especially without cell phones. You know, like if someone was driving on the road in the 80s, that's it. You can't. There's no way to contact them. They're on the road.
You're fucked. You wait for someone to come by.
You're so vulnerable when you're in this car and you have your parent there. And this fucking dog, man, doesn't want to quit. And it's a really great movie. And I want to really just say that I think rewatching it, there's kind of like an underlying premise here about infidelity. The mother is like not a perfect mother. She
was banging the tennis guy or something, right?
Yeah, or like the carpenter,
that's right.
The handyman guy, and she's a totally flawed person, and so she's sleeping with this guy behind her husband's back, and the husband's so busy at work, you know, and that's part the marriage is falling apart, and then the whole third act becomes this kind of this whole kind of survival thriller about how this mother needs to muster up this enough courage and fortitude to not only save herself but also save her son. And the movie kind of challenges you. Do you really root for this person? And I think at the end of the day, you do, because it's such a humanistic type of vulnerable feeling that you get from the movie. I was really shocked at how well this held up. It's still held up, and it's a great horror movie. It's a great thriller. It's a great survival thriller. I think it's one of the better films that came out in the early 80s. And
I gotta get my kids to watch this. Yeah, they would love it. It's so basic, but they would like it.
It's fantastic. I think it's and the dog itself is kind of like a symbolism of a broken marriage. Really, that dog is like kind of it's like an allegory for dread in a marriage and a family. If you conquered this dog, then you could save the marriage. Really, I think it's a really interesting film.
Well, wait. So it's the actual. It's not 1 4-minute scene. It's the actual whole third act that is the scariest part.
I would say the first scene where she is locked in the car for the first time. That would be the most traumatizing thing.
Okay.
Because when I think about it, it was very vague in what I remember of that movie, and only when I rewatched it, I kind of figure out, oh, okay, so it must have been this scene. But yeah, I mean, for those who don't know the movie, she is having car trouble with her car, her Ford Pinto, by the way. And she goes to a local mechanic who lives in this farmhouse.
Which is weird because he's like a farmer.
Yeah, he lives in this farmhouse, and his dog has rabies. Like, I think it was bitten by a bat, and goes crazy and kills them.
Yeah, I think, and it's funny because they roll that over the credits, right?
Yeah.
The opening credits, he chases a bat into a hole, or a rabbit, and then there's a bat, and the bat comes and bites him on the nose. And
Yeah. So she's there, and she's already having car trouble anyway, so she can't drive away. That's the whole idea of it, and so she's like stuck there for a couple of days. Yeah, like almost a day and a half or so.
She only had a little bit of water,
and it's hot because they had to roll up the windows, and it's hot. It's a terrific movie. It's a really terrific movie.
And then one of the favorite parts is that doesn't like. I think the dad gets killed, or somehow the dad's missing. His family's gone, so they keep calling the house. Every time the phone rings, the dog goes insane and starts to like ram the car and stuff.
Yeah, the dad separated, and they were going to take a break, and I think he was off on a business trip, and then he said, "Fuck this, I'm going to save my marriage." And then he notices like his wife is gone and his son is gone. Now he's thinking that they took off, but then he finds out, oh no, something's going on here, and he tries to call, and it's so funny because the boy, the kid, the tremendous, like I said, a tremendous performance by this kid from Who's the Boss, and he's crying for his dad, and Dee Wallace is like, "Oh, can I get your dad?" You know, like.
She's selling it.
She is perfect, pitch perfect in this role, and she's the best thing about it. I mean, I really love it. I'm telling you, I was shocked how well this movie holds up.
Yeah, no, it's a good one, dude. It's a really good one.
So that's my second pick. Cujo, family stuck in a car because of freaking dog.
That's good.
It scared the shit out of me.
That was a very good one. That's good.